Hello everybody, welcome back to Thomas Plays Games. We're playing Factorio, and I have made the rest of the I have completed the other iron outpost, so now I have two really big oil outposts. And right here I'm just kind of expanding the amount of, uh, oil things I have. I'm going to head over to the other base and just check it out. These things are pretty close to each other, but, it's still a bit of a trek. Yeah, it's really weird that this was so close. These two were so close to each other, but so far from the rest of the base. I'm not sure, I'd have to... The oil algorithm is definitely interesting. Just cleaning this up a little bit. So this is the other oil base. It is really big. It's like double or triple the size of the one I set up in the last episode. So it was a good 20 or so minutes of actually, putting down pump jacks, connecting the oil, doing all this stuff. To get it fully functional, killing a bunch of biters in the meantime as well. You can see the roboport in the middle there. That roboport's there because it gives me vision, it is what I was talking about before, where it allows you to heal anything that was damaged, because the roboport coverage covers just about the entirety of this section, or of this whole base, so it works pretty well. And you can actually see that this place was so big I actually forgot and just accidentally missed some of the oil fields. So I'm just kind of trying to throw those in, making a couple more pump jacks and just filling this place out to get the full usage of it. And I actually realized here that I didn't even connect 10 or 20 pump jacks to the rest of the actual output area. So I got to check that one and to find another one under some turrets there. So I just got to make another pump jack for that. And yeah, it was a good 20 or 30 minutes of monotony trying to set this thing up. But now that it's done, I never have to worry about it again. I hope. Yeah, just trying to look and see, are all these pump jacks pumping? Is it all going? And I think they're all going. So I'm checking the trains to see if anything's nearby. The train for the other oil outpost will be departing soon, so I can run up there and catch it. Figure I'll kill some biters on the way. Since these guys, I'm pretty sure they weren't here last time. They must have just landed or something, or must have just colonized. I figure I'll just kill time while I'm waiting for the train to show up. Okay, yeah, and just throwing down a couple things that I don't need. Yeah, these trains kind of solve just about all the problems I had with oil beforehand. And throw this thing in manual because I realized I also missed some oil things here. I have a couple of these pump jacks that just aren't even connected at all to the rest of the field, or to the output area. So I gotta connect those things. Just check throw those things down. You can see this area wasn't done either. It's sometimes hard to spot, because what I do to see if the pump jacks are connected is I like to look and see if they're pumping. But because the oil area, or because the pump pipes can hold 10 units each, by the time you actually see if they stopped, you're not really looking at them anymore. Because if you connect up 10 of them with maybe 50 pipes, that's 500 oil that they need to actually fill in before you even notice they're not working, which can take a little while. And yeah, so this train's popping back to base. And there we go, 2 trains constantly providing oil to the factory. It pretty much solves the oil problem for now and hopefully forever. But the needs of a factory are ever expanding. And here I'm just gonna try to beautify the base, make it look a little less like shit. Because yeah, when you don't have lights, it kind of just looks bad, and it's doubly hard to see on YouTube. So trying to be cognizant of that and fix it wherever I can. And yeah, so now that I have mostly solved the oil problem, the next problem is pretty clearly iron. I think I only have 2 full furnace setups working on iron, so it's 40 furnaces working pretty constantly on it. Turns out that's not really that much. So I'm going to have to start trying to solve that problem. And because I don't want to I'm far enough in the game that I don't want to be doing like temporary solutions. I want to try to do more permanent ones. I can just balance that copper out. I want to try to do more permanent solutions. So the first thing I'm going to do is add more iron in. And the second thing I'm going to be doing is actually, instead of making another like 40 column or 20 smelting furnace column like I did at the start of the game, I'm going to be exclusively making beacon setups like I did with the steel area or the extra copper thing I had before. I'll just connect up that last little bit. So yeah, I'm going to fill out this whole iron area just to make sure I have enough input. And I actually never connected that area that I worked on a few episodes ago, so that might have irked some people, but I'm going to fix that now, or I think I fix it now. I fix it eventually. That's what's important. It does get fixed. And here's where I realized that the blueprint is kind of crap, because it doesn't properly line up with a previous copy of the blueprint. That's one of the things that I find most important, is that you evenly space everything, so you could put like half of the blueprint on top of its previous on top of its previous incarnation. I guess I don't know what the right word would be for that, but you can put the blueprint on top of itself, so you don't have any problems like that, where you just end up using like 20 extra power poles that you didn't really need to, because the factory makes enough for that, like for some inefficiencies like that, but they're just kind of annoying to see. I'd like to avoid those problems if I can. Okay. So yeah, so I'm low on, there's a lot of iron issues with the base right now. And those iron issues are partly caused by lack of iron input and partly caused by lack of iron furnace areas. So I'm trying to solve the iron problem, but sometimes it is a little difficult. And I figure I'll connect up some of these things since I have a lot of plastic coming in now. I want to actually connect up the red circuits to things that are made from red circuits, so I can get some good output. Some good output of things that are going to be useful later on in the factory. And I put that roboport back where it was. And I get some spacing there. And, just trying to cover the base really well so that even if I'm not able to produce things, that the robots can. And here I'm just trying to connect these things up. Because I have oil coming in again, I'm now also getting lubricant, which means I can start upgrading into exclusively blue belts. And there you go, I see I finally fixed those like 40 things that weren't actually being produced beforehand. The 40 mining things that weren't connected to the iron area, I finally fixed that. And there, just making some more space, trying to de-spaghettify or re-spaghettify, whatever the base, trying to make sure I get all the iron used. Yeah, connect up the roboports with power so that I can actually do some stuff. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out a way that I would add extra copper here, or add extra furnaces to the copper setup here. There's not really space for it, so I just kind of decide, like, I'm just going to copy this. This is my blueprint. It has lights, it has everything I really need except for the actual modules itself. So I'll just copy that and start using those to produce stuff. And yeah, now that I'm able to make blue belts at a pretty consistent rate, since I upgraded since I've solved the oil problem, lots of lubricant should be coming in. One of the problems that comes up because of that is that since lubricant's coming in, you're going to get a lot of belt production, and belts take up like a huge, stupid amount of iron. Like it's almost it's pretty unbelievable, really. They can eat up like an entire blue belt worth of iron, just making belts themselves, which is like it's like 40 items per second on a blue belt go through. So yeah, just watching the iron, trying to make sure that it actually gets, the iron gets where I need it to go to produce different things. And this episode, if the last few episodes were about solving oil, this episode is definitely about solving iron. It's going to be a lot of like, trying to see if I can upgrade these things to have effective production or effective throughput and effective production of different things. And I'm just here setting up my auto trash things because I don't want some items. Although I do decide to keep the red splitters for a while, since blue splitters take red circuits, and red circuits are still not being produced in a huge amount or huge volume right now. So what I decided to do is I don't want to put extra smelting areas on top of potential resources. So what I end up doing is I just kind of place these things wherever they'll fit and just hope for the best. Since I have been producing beacons and furnaces, these things should get thrown down pretty easily. But I will have to connect up the iron to this area. And even though it still takes, I'm still not at beacon production yet. I do want not beacon. Yeah, I'm not into module production yet. I still do want the beacons there so I can easily transition into lots of modules. And, just running back and forth, trying to figure out what I need to do to upgrade this, to fix this problem, really. And, the thing that I haven't actually started producing is the substations. Substations are made by hand, which means it's easy enough or they're made by hand really quickly, which means it's easy enough to ignore them as a requirement for actual, like, assembly machine production, or it's easy enough to ignore their need to, or keep like mixing up my words. Basically, it's easy to ignore them until you need them in huge volume. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, and I'm just connecting up the iron. I mostly have underground belts at this point, so I'm actually just using the underground belt, trying to get the iron just to go wherever. Yeah, just try and get the iron back into the belt so I can, produce more things so that I can produce more iron. And you just kind of follow the loop. And I figure I want most of the iron to go towards the belt production, so I just kind of add that little circuit condition in to make sure that it does mostly go towards the iron. And I was trying to set it up, but I actually did it not as... Okay, I did it wrong, is what I'm saying. So what I did there is I just kind of copied the previous setup that was right and just moved it over there. Yeah, these kind of circuit things are the kind of things that I never really, I figured them out, but I never really remember them. So I just kind of copy them and paste them wherever I can. And looking at it now, since there's a lot of lubricant and the red circuit production is high enough that I'm getting a good amount of blue splitters, I decide to just mostly upgrade to blue splitters whenever I can. Okay, so the circuit production is still pretty low relative to what I actually need it to be. Yeah, I have that one original circuit production area, and that's still the major output of the factory. Most of the other circuits are still going up, like directly up. And yeah, so that's so most of the other circuits are still going up into where the old processing unit area was, so that I'm not actually getting, like, I'm getting half of the actual production of circuits currently that I have. At least I think I am. It might be different. But yeah, just trying to pick up some belts, like solve some problems, clean up the base a little bit while I wait for the belts to be produced to actually finish out that iron smelting area, or that extra iron smelting area that I was trying to build. And then, again, adding up lights. Just doing some little busy work while I wait for the thing to work, or for the belts to be made. And they're getting there slowly, a little too slowly by my liking, but they're getting there. And what I actually end up doing is I'm going to tear up belts and just put them down myself. because it's just not worth waiting. So yeah, since I have so many underground belts, I'll just replace them with that. Since if I remember the circuit production or the belt production area I had, mostly it gets, or it prioritizes underground belts over regular belts, just by way of the way it was like simply designed. It's not like a fancy circuit thing. It just so happens that you get more underground belts because of the way the assembly machine or the inserters take things out of assembly machines. So that's why I have so many more underground belts than anything else. And since they don't take any red circuits, just regular circuits and gears, pretty much, you end up with a lot of extras. So here I'm just trying to increase the throughput of iron into the areas that I need to be at, just so that I can get more stuff. And you can see I'm actually 100% of the iron that makes it down to this area actually goes into the belt production, which does hurt some of the production of other things. And it looks like when I was looking at this thing, for some reason there was a missing inserter here, so I just kind of put that back in there to increase the mining drill production. So yeah, I don't think that inserter was missing beforehand. I think I might have picked it up by accident. And it looks like I'm getting attacked somewhere. I think... Yeah, I'm not sure where that attack is going. Oh, it's way down here, near the end of the bus. So yeah, it looks like I'm getting attacked from the south and that area over there. So I'm starting to look at this area, and I'm thinking, okay, the pollution's actually expanded enough, and the biters have colonized enough that the forest isn't really protecting me anymore. I'm gonna start needing a bunch of walls to actually stop biters from attacking my base. So I'm going to start slowly working towards that. It takes a while to build enough laser turrets to actually get that, and I don't want to upgrade laser turret production too much because you don't really need them after you get your initial shell. You need a couple for outposts, so you can get more resources, but you don't need too many of them. So I don't really prioritize them too hard. There you go, I'm just trying to conserve regular blue belts wherever I can. And so yeah, just using the underground belts to just go wherever I need them. And there we go. So I finally hook up all the iron into here. Just picking up a couple belts and adding in the corners wherever I can, just to make sure the iron actually goes where I want it to. And so that's an extra, 16 furnaces added to the layout. It's not as perfect. It's not as nice as it would be. Or it's not as effective as I could have made it. But since I want I want the furnace area to be easily upgradable into modules. That's why I did it that way. So yeah, getting that iron is the end of the episode. Thank you for watching Thomas Plays Games. I hope to see you all next time. Goodbye.